So good morning, one and all. So today we are talking about the reinforced earth structure, session 5. In the previous session, we are talking about the concept of reinforcement and the sandwich technique. So where we are used the sand as a layer in between those. So we have to consider a reinforced strip or any other material as a sandwich. So in between these two layers, and then the sand layer, so we provide the reinforced strips and other materials to improve the tensile strength of the soil. So here in this session we are talking about the historical developments in the areas of geosynthetics and their applications, where the Henry has developed as invention the reinforced earth concept. So in the 1960s, the early decades, the use of fabrics in reinforcement road was attempted by the South Carolina Highway Department in 1926. Polymers which form the bulk of geosynthetics did not come into commercial production until 30 years later, starting with polyvinyl chloride (PVC) in 1933, low density polyethylene and polyamide in 1939, expanded polystyrene in 1950, polyester in 1953, and high density polyethylene (HDPE) and polypropylene in 1955. The United States Bureau of Reclamation has been using geomembranes in water conveyance canals since 1950s. After the 1950, a range of fabrics was manufactured for use as a separation and filter layers. Those are the importance of the functions of the layer geotextiles between granular fields and weak subsoils. Woven fabrics, nowadays called geotextiles, played critical filtration function in coastal projects in the Netherlands and in the US. In the 1960s, Ron Paulin Textile in France began working with non-woven needle-punched geotextiles for quite different applications. Geotextiles found a role as beds for highway and railway track support systems. Chlorosulfonated polyethylene was developed around 1965, and after 1965 there will be a investigation of geotextile used in the reinforced earth structures. So that will be used in the initially is used in the dam in 1970s was a needle punched non-woven geotextile used as a filter for the aggregate downstream drain in the Valcroze Dam, France in 1992, and the geotextile were incorporated as reinforcement in retaining walls, steep slopes, etc. The beginning of the ongoing process of standards development started with the formation of the ASTM Joint Committee on Geosynthetics and the formation of industry task forces. The first samples of tensor grid were made in the Blackburn laboratories of Netlon Limited, UK in July 1978. The first conference on geosynthetic was held in Paris in 1977. The geofoam was originally applied as a lightweight fill in Norway in 1972. In 1980s, the beginning of the use of geosynthetics occurred in the construction of safe containment of environmentally hazardous wastes. Soil confinement systems based on cellular geotextile nets in the form of mesh were first developed and evaluated in France during 1980s. Netlon developed a similar concept but on a longer scale with the introduction of a tensor geocell mattress in 1982. In 1990s, many standards on geosynthetics were published by the American Society of testing materials, ASTM, the International Organization for Standardization, ISO, Switzerland, the British Standard Institution, BSI, UK, the Bureau of Indian Standard, BIS, India. BIS, India. So these are the historical development have been studied in the early decades to the 1990s. In the next decade also, so we have to study that. So now we are talking about the geotextile, oven and non-oven geotextile. So what do you understand by oven and non-oven? It is purely depend on the property of the geotextile. As you might surmise, oven geotextiles are manufactured by blending and weaving fibers together on a loom that will be made as a mesh. So it is already shows in the figure. So it is an impermeable material forming one uniform length. The result is a product that is not only strong, which makes them a great fit for the applications like road construction and car parks. So in the several cases, it will be interlacing usually a right angles, two or more sets of arms, fibers, or other elements using a conventional weaving process with a weaving loom. So here we are seeing that this will be the oven geotextile and this is a non-oven geotextile. So in the non-oven, a geotextile produced from directionally or randomly oriented fibers into a loose web by bonding with the partial melting, needle punching, or chemical binding agents like glue, rubber, latex, cellulose derivatives. Cellulose derivatives is purely a impermeable material that make a impermeable material. It will not the water or anything, it will be not transferred to the next one. The similar to ovens, non-oven geotextile are made using a synthetic textile. See here it will be CA impermeable material. The first figure and in the second figure, these are the non-geotextile, non-oven geotextile material. So we can use with the geosynthetic reinforcement, or in other cases also we are used that. The difference is the challenging to determine when looking at a material specifications. So you can generally say that. So after looking, we can say that it will be a oven or it will be non-oven geotextile. Generally, ovens have higher strength values, while non-ovens have higher flow rates and permittivity. So these are the pictures of oven and non-oven knitted geotextile. So here in this figure, so this is a oven and non-oven. Thank you one and all.